outside, I am rain.
Somebody was looking a little grubby in episodes 1 and 2. That disheveled look was intended to scare off people that this video series isn't intended for. Now I've got viewers like you who are either VVork superfans or perhaps you're a YouTube creator. In either case, as you can see, I'm back to my normal looking self. By the way, the main reason why I need to shave is because there's no way I could ever compete with these guys' facial hair. Make sure you watch the end of this video because I have an update on episode 1. Take a look at these thumbnails. You hopefully immediately recognize them as thumbnails for videos from VVork. Now I've strived over, I don't know how many years, to be very consistent with the look of my thumbnails. I've never been fully satisfied with those thumbnails. We can talk about their shortcomings in a later video. But having a consistent look to my thumbnails is how I leverage the power of branding. If the branding's strong enough, and you like my previous videos, then when you see my thumbnail show up amongst lots of other suggested videos, you're more likely to click on mine. You may have noticed that the thumbnails for this video series look very different. If branding's so important, you ask, then why did you change the look of the thumbnails after so many years? That's a great question. To answer that question, I'm going to briefly display a picture on the screen, and it's going to be really tiny. Are you ready? A colleague recently displayed that picture in a PowerPoint presentation. And in their presentation, the picture was tiny. And on the slide, there was lots of other stuff going on. But I immediately knew who the picture was of. And not only that, I was able to anticipate where my colleague was heading. That's an example of the power of branding. My colleague's presentation was an aha moment for me, and it inspired me to do a little bit of informal research. Take a look at these thumbnails. What do most of these thumbnails have in common? Let's think about that for a moment. That's right. Faces figure prominently into most of those thumbnails. As you know, thumbnails are tiny. You don't have a lot of space to work with. So you can pretty safely assume that if somebody's designing a good thumbnail, then they have a very good reason to put that person's face into the thumbnail. Even though I quickly flashed through those thumbnails, I bet there were at least some faces that you recognized. And when you recognize the faces, I bet you either consciously or subconsciously kind of knew what kind of video you were going to get if you clicked on that thumbnail. That's the power of branding in action. By the way, compare your reaction to those visual thumbnails to this list of YouTube creators. Here are a whole bunch of YouTube creators. The list goes on and on and on, and yet I bet you're not having the same sort of emotional reaction to seeing this list of names. There's something very powerful about seeing the face of somebody that you recognize. I'm an introvert, so my gut reaction is, no way am I going to use my face as my brand. But look at these guys. You don't have to be amazingly good looking for your face to work. It's not about looking like a movie star. You can have just an average old face and the branding still works. It's about making it easy for your viewers to think, hey, I know that guy. That's that Brian guy. He makes those VVork videos. I've liked his stuff before, so I'm going to click on his video instead of these other videos from these other schmucks. I haven't started yet, but methinks I need to go back and recreate the thumbnails for my previous videos, which is no small undertaking. And when I do, one of the prominent features of those new thumbnails will be, you guessed it, my face. Earlier, I told you I had an update on episode 1. This morning, episode 1 was released, and when I went into the YouTube studio to see how it was doing, this is what I was greeted with. As you can see, I took this video of the fireworks early on when the video had just been released. And yet, something's going on with that video, that YouTube likes. Again, we talk about the YouTube algorithm, but it's really about figuring out how you can do what you're trying to do with your videos in a way that YouTube responds favorably to. Even though episode 1 has that scary warning thumbnail, and at the beginning of the video, I basically said, don't watch this video. Even so, episode 1 is currently doing better than other VVork videos. Now that might be because the thumbnail includes my face, or it may be that this new thumbnail is graphically more punchy, or it could be that I'm successfully leveraging reverse psychology. I mean, look at this thumbnail. It's just begging you to watch it because you're not supposed to watch it. So of course I gotta watch it. Anyways, at this point, I only have a little bit of data on what's going on with episode 1, and I haven't seen what's going on with all of the other episodes because I haven't released them, but I'm starting to amass some information about what is working. So I have a question for you. You saw the thumbnail for episode 1. You presumably clicked on it. I'm just curious to hear from you. What was it about that thumbnail that worked for you?
We'll answer that question on the next episode of
Inside Brian's Brain.